Hey there guys, how are you today and welcome to another episode of I Ask Twitter. Yes, this is the series where I ask a question on Twitter and with the answers I get from all of you guys, I make a video. So, this week I asked Twitter to tell me 3 things you want to see happen at the 2019 Canadian Grand Prix. Of course, the Canadian Grand Prix is taking place this weekend, all super excited for it, hoping it's going to be a cracking race. And now, let's get in to the video. So, David says that he wants to see something other than a Mercedes 1-2. He wants to see Renault finally get their act together and score good points, and Leclerc finally get a good race he deserves. So, in terms of Mercedes 1-2, of course, we didn't have that in Monaco, although they were unlucky. So, we'll have to see how that really plays out in Canada, in Montreal, but we know Hamilton normally dominates in Canada, and it's been a strong track for Mercedes over the years, so a 1-2 would be my prediction. And for sure, Renault do need to get that together. They have been poor this season, poor reliability and poor pace, and it looks like they got a real fight on their hands if they want to finish in P4 in the Constructors' Championship again, and they certainly won't be going any higher, like maybe the aim was at the start of the season. And Leclerc to get a good race he deserves. So the only thing I would say about that, it is true, I think Ferrari have screwed him over quite a bit with team orders and, of course, strategy in Monaco qualifying. But in the Monaco Grand Prix itself, in the race, Leclerc screwed himself over being so aggressive after his puncture. So, he does deserve a good race, but in Monaco he wasn't so good. Moving on to Rick, who says Ferrari to get together finally, or Mercedes will have nobody to race, and therefore he reckons and he wants there to be a Mercedes 1-2, so for sure Ferrari need to get themselves together pretty much and get themselves really racing Mercedes, and if they want to be in the World Championship fight this season, how long until we say it's just a Mercedes fight this year? Because the way it's going, it's a Mercedes dominated season. We need Ferrari to start winning races. I think Ferrari need to win 2 of these summer races. So there's lots of races in the next few weeks, and I reckon Ferrari have to win at least half of them if they're going to have any say in this year's World Championship. But Mercedes 1-2, in my opinion, is likely. Nicole says Gasly to finally outperform Max Verstappen, both McLaren in the points to continue their solid streak, and the winner to do a dab at the end of the race. So, in terms of Gasly, well, I think he is getting closer to Verstappen, but I don't think it's going to happen yet. I think for Gasly to beat Verstappen at the moment, it'll probably take reliability issue or a crash for Max Verstappen. But good luck to Gasly, I think he is getting better, and I'm hoping in a few races he will be really challenging Max Verstappen. And then, in terms of both McLarens in the points, for sure, I would love to see that. I love McLaren. And they're having a solid season. We can't deny them at that. Of course, they're not having a great season by traditional McLaren standards. But I think there has been a solid improvement on last season. And ultimately, best of luck to McLaren. And the winner to do a dab at the end, well, of course, we all want to see that. Then F1 Fanatic says, rain, an incident-packed race. And if Mercedes is top again, let's at least see Red Bull fighting Ferrari. Well, to an extent, I would say that your first 2 answers there, rain and an instant-packed race, I would say they are very much too linked, because I guess the rain obviously brings on the incidents and makes the race more exciting. And if it's a dry race, Canada is not always the best. But of course, there have been a number of crashes in the past in dry races that made it exciting, so we have to be optimistic, but I would say in recent years Canada hasn't been fantastic. And in terms of seeing Red Bull fighting Ferrari, I would say they have been already fighting Ferrari, particularly Verstappen anyway, and I'm hoping really for more of the same. Next up we have Shadow82, who says, and Leclerc to get his maiden victory, a wet race, kind of 2011 style, and overtakes, a lot of overtakes. So yeah, for sure, Leclerc to get his maiden victory. Of course, for sure, I think he has been strong this season overall, apart from Monaco. And he hasn't been far off, particularly in Bahrain. And with all the straights in Canada, it should be a good circuit for Ferrari, and I'm hoping Leclerc can do something special this weekend. But of course, in terms of rain, I think 2011 style would be great, but you're not going to get a race better than 2011. I think that's going to be very difficult. You'd have to have someone who retired to go on to win to make it a better race than 2011. But let's be honest, I think 2011 has got a special place in our hearts for Canada. And anything that comes even close to that race, in terms of the excitement and the weather, would be amazing. And overtakes and lots of overtakes, well yeah, 100%. And I guess with DRS zones it could happen, but at the same time I don't think these overtakes are going to be at the front of the grid like we really want to see them happen. So, next up we have Zebi, who wants to see a Mercedes power unit upgrade and a Mercedes 1-2, so we want a dominant race for Mercedes, but they also want to see some sort of Ferrari implosion, which may be to help them get their act together and maybe unlock their car potential for future races. So maybe you're saying it needs to get worse for Ferrari before it's going to get any better, and that's an interesting one. But realistically, how much worse can it get for Ferrari if they still want to be in this season's championship fight? Next up we have Ship, who says Leclerc on the podium, some kind of progress for Williams, and the raft race. So yeah, for sure Leclerc on the podium. I guess that's the kind of thing a lot of us have been saying here today, seeing Leclerc on the podium. I think that would obviously show some good progress for him after Monaco and make sure his confidence stays up. And then some kind of progress for Williams. Don't think they're going to be able to progress very far, but we know this is a track where Robert Kubica has won a Grand Prix, so of course he's not going to win in the Williams, but maybe he's got extra bit of pace down here and can get them up a few positions. And the raft race, which has obviously been a traditional part of the Canadian Grand Prix weekend, and I'm pretty sure the raft race is the only thing McLaren Honda have ever won. Next up we have Robbie, who says these are probably unrealistic, but Canada needs a good race, as there have been several dull races over the last 2 years. 2014 was the last amazing Canadian Grand Prix, he believes, and I would agree with that. So he wants to see a different winner other than Mercedes, so I think everybody really agrees with that. Right, apart from Zebi. Raikkonen back in the points, and both McLarens to score points. So for sure, right, a different winner. I think everybody agrees to that one. I've kind of talked about that already. And for sure, a different winner. We want to see a different winner. Keep it exciting. I'd love to see Red Bull win, actually. A Red Bull with a Honda engine car. That would be amazing to see them win on a track which is really power dominated. Raikkonen back in the point, the Iceman, of course. And Raikkonen, you know, we all love him. We want to see him in the points, of course we do. And some good team radio, because I think in Spain and Monaco he has struggled a lot. I'm not sure why, but I'm hoping the Alfa Romeo team can get back their performance that they had at the very start of the season, and Raikkonen can get points, and both McLarens to score points for sure. I would have to see that too. Finally, we're going to go to Peter, who says that he wants to see a non-Mercedes car to win the race, a repeat of 2011, and live on free-to-air TV. So going through those, of course, a non-Mercedes to win the race, of course we all want to see that. But I guess if Mercedes has to win the race, we'd rather it be Bottas to make sure Hamilton doesn't get a huge championship lead. But what it will be. But it would be useful to see a Ferrari or a Red Bull win. Repeat of 2011, I don't think you're going to get a repeat of 2011. You're not going to get something that's close. But hopefully it will be half decent in the race. And live on free-to-air TV, and now that is something I would say 100%. And what I do know is, you know, on Channel 4, the highlights this weekend are not until 11 PM and they go on to 1 AM in the morning. And it's simply too late for many F1 fans, especially younger fans who have school and or university and stuff and have to go to bed, you know, say 11, 12 o'clock. So of course we want to see it live on free-to-air TV for everybody in the country and the world to watch and enjoy. And on that optimistic note for the future, I will say enjoy the race, and I'll see you guys next time.